1, 2. Test. Sound 2. Sound 2, 2. 1, 2. Test. Sound 2. 1, 2. 2, 2. 1, 2. Testing. Sound 2. One, two.
We have a room full of stakeholders very passionate about their causes. Half a day. That's more like it. I know it's after lunch, but welcome to the Office of the Governor of Guam. We are delighted to have you here for reasons to proclaim November 2025 as Sanctuary Month and November 2025 as Homelessness Awareness Month. I almost said Homelessness Assistance. That a lot of the overlap holders. But before we begin, I of course want to recognize the Honorable Joshua F. Terrio, our acting governor of Guam. I love that energy in your clapping. Please keep it up as we introduce the rest of our stakeholders. From West Care Pacific Islands and Sanctuary, we have Ms. Beverlyn Coleman, Vice President of Operations for the Pacific Islands Program. Ms. Leslie Estrella, Director of Administration. Keep that applause coming. Ms. Stephanie Drillon, Mr. Mark Mesnan, Ms. Perla Mesa, and Brianna Rodriguez. Oh. Love it. Thank you so much. Representing the Guam Department of Public Health and Social Services, Ms. Heidi Kinata, Chief of Children's Services Administration. Ms. Patricia Mofnis, Human Services Program Administration. And the rest of their team. I also want to recognize the Catholic Social Services. We have Mr. Jared Adder representing Ali Shelter, half a day. From the Guam Department of Youth Affairs, our Director and Deputy Melanie Brannon and Mike Weekly, half a day, sir. And ma'am. Representing the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center, Dr. James Cooper Nurse, our Deputy Director. Also want to recognize Ms. I love the energy back there. Ms. Athena Dueña, Supervisor for New Beginnings, and their team, half a day. Representing the Guam Coalition Against Sexual Assault and Family Violence, we do have their whole team, but we also want to recognize their project director, Mr. Joel Sedek. Cesar Masi for joining us. Representing the Guam Homeless Coalition, Mr. Robson Augustine, Vice Chairman. Representing the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority, Director, Ms. Liz Napoli, half a day. The Judiciary Guam is also in the house, Ms. Sofia Santos Diaz, Deputy Administrator. And to her left, Ms. Rosanna Villagomez Uggan, Chief Probation Officer. I also want to acknowledge the team representing the Salvation Army Guam Corps. Let's give them a round of applause. Representing Manuelu, we have Ms. Jacqueline Thinanpong, Project Director, half a day. Back there hiding. And representing the Youth Action Board in Sanctuary and West Care Pacific Islands, Mr. Julian Abella, Vice President, half a day. I swear I'm almost done. Representing Vero Guam is Karen Carpenter, Office Manager and Bookkeeper, half a day, ma'am. And I love that energy, and I hope we keep it up for the rest of the proclamation signing, so thank you so much. I now want to give the microphone for opening remarks for the Sanctuary Proclamation. We're going to go ahead and do the Sanctuary event first, and then we'll do the homeless awareness right after. So for the opening remarks for Sanctuary Month, I want to give the microphone now to Stephanie Drillon, Program Manager for the shelter.
Test. Oh, there we go. It's working. It was on mute. Okay, well, good afternoon, everyone. And on behalf of Sanctuary, I'd like to extend a heartfelt welcome to all of you gathered here today. Our government partners, community organizations, dedicated staff, volunteers, and most importantly, the youth and families we serve. This proclamation signing holds special meaning as Sanctuary proudly celebrates 54 years of service to our island community. For over 5 decades, Sanctuary has stood as a place of refuge, guidance, and empowerment for Guam's youth and families, most especially in crisis. What began as a small grassroots effort has grown into a vital network of services from shelter and counseling to outreach and advocacy, all built on one simple promise, that no young person should ever feel alone or without hope. To our partners and supporters, I want to thank you for standing beside us. To our staff, interns, and volunteers, thank you for showing up every day with heart and purpose. And to our youth, your courage and resilience continue to inspire every step we take forward. As we witness the signing today, may it remind us that Sanctuary's mission is not only an organization's responsibility, but it's a community calling. Sidzos Masi.
Cesar Masi, Steph. And now I want to give the floor to the Honorable Josh Tenorio, our Acting Governor of Guam.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody, to Adelup and to the Sanctuary team. I'm just so happy to be with you today to recognize your role in the community. Sanctuary is one of the longest running, and I would say one of the most important nonprofit organizations and human services providers on the island. We're vested in your success and your survival. And I know that in these last few years, Sanctuary has managed to be able to merge with WestCare, a national organization that has very deep roots here in Guam. And as somebody that's been involved, or at least intimately aware of this move, really for everybody, it's really to strengthen and add value to the institution of Sanctuary. You know, Sanctuary remains a very vital program, and with the excellent support from WestCare, I'm looking forward to Sanctuary continuing to evolve and thrive throughout our community. We need you to thrive because we have a lot of needs. And we have needs that the government of Guam, it's our obligations to provide. But actually, you know, we know that our nonprofit partners can do a quicker and sometimes even better job than us in the government. Government requires nonprofit partners. And we're like, so I opened up saying we're vested in your success and your survival and in your thriving, because we do need a Sanctuary to be present. In these last few years, the Chief Justice and I have been, again, looking at ways to improve juvenile justice. And we all know in the room that one of the areas that we need to continue to work and expand our placement options. I still have juveniles at the Department of Youth Affairs. They're under order by a judge that should be another place. They should be in a different place or a type of placement. And those are the urgencies that we work on. And I'm hopeful, and I'm looking forward to opportunities in the near future, I think this year and coming into the next, to see how we can grow and expand and evolve the partnership with Sanctuary and the other human services providers on the island. I really looking for more partnerships in shelter. And as you'll hear in the next proclamation that I see our role in the government to acquire facilities, but we need those facilities to be staffed by, and maybe and for those facilities to help with the mission and the target populations that all of the different nonprofit partners have, with all the different targets of our populations that need the help. I'll just close by saying, you know, we're living in a very different environment than how it was created in 1971 with Father Phelps and Mark Martinez and Mark Forbes. You know, there were different challenges back then, but they're also similar and the same challenges. Sometime in 2025, we have challenges with technology. We have a large number of our youth that have mental health diagnoses. We have expanded substance abuse issues that are happening in youth. And unfortunately, we also have a record number of children in the children's welfare system, which means that we all have to continue to work closely together to try and provide the services that can rescue lives. I see Sanctuary as a place where we can rescue young lives, but empower them so that they could help expand the kind of help that our community needs. So I want to congratulate you on your anniversary. I've been enjoying your social media posts. I've been seeing all your various directors since 1971, some people that we know, and looking forward with your leadership to look and chart an expanded course for this great partnership that the government of Guam has with Sanctuary. So Biba Sanctuary.
Cesar Maasi, Acting Governor. And now for the reading of the proclamation, I want to give the microphone to Brenna Rodriguez, Data Coordinator for Sanctuary. Come on down.
Hello. Okay. Proclamation number 2025-116, a proclamation of the Governor proclaiming November 2025 as Sanctuary Month. Whereas Sanctuary Incorporated of Guam was founded in 1971 as a grassroots response to the urgent needs of at-risk youth and families, providing emergency shelter, crisis intervention, and supportive services that have grown into a lifeline for thousands of island residents over the past 5 decades. As Sanctuary has continued to expand its services to include residential programs, youth outreach, substance use prevention, transitional living, life skills training, and other vital programs that empower young people and families to overcome adversity and thrive. Whereas in 2025, Sanctuary Incorporated officially merged with WestCare Pacific Islands, strengthening its capacity as part of a global network dedicated to uplifting communities and advocating behavioral health, housing stability, and youth development services. Whereas this partnership with WestCare Pacific Island ensures that Sanctuary's legacy of compassionate, community-driven service will continue to grow, aligning local expertise with national and international resources to address Guam's most pressing social challenges. Whereas Sanctuary Month is an opportunity to honor the dedicated staff, volunteers, partners, and supporters whose tireless work has kept Sanctuary's doors open day and night, providing safety, healing, and hope to Guam's most vulnerable populations. And whereas it is fitting that the people of Guam recognize and celebrate the invaluable contributions of Sanctuary and WestCare Pacific Islands in creating a safer, healthier, and more compassionate island community. Thank you.
Now, therefore, I, Joshua F. Tenorio, Octu Magetlahen Guahan, acting governor of Guam, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Organic Act of Guam as amended, do hereby proclaim November 2025 as Sanctuary Month in Guam. And I encourage all our residents to join in recognizing Sanctuary Incorporated and WestCare Pacific Islands for their decades of service and ongoing commitment to the people of Guam. Given under my hand, I cause a great seal of Guam to be affixed here in the capital village of Hagåtña on this 10th day of November in the year of our Lord, Anno Domini 2025. Biba Sanctuary!
Biba. And now we move on to Homelessness Awareness Month. I want to give I'll call it my husband to the podium. Let's not lie here. My husband is the Vice President for the Guam Homeless Coalition, but also the Director for the Division of Homelessness Assistance and Poverty Prevention. Take it away.
Hapade, thank you, everybody. I guess I didn't know I was going to give these remarks, but, you know, that's how it goes. So I'd like to say thank you all for sticking around for this proc. This is the 3rd year since we have established in November to observe Homelessness Awareness Month. So I'd like to thank all the GHC members who have gone through the time that I've been here and teaching me, as well as figuring out what to do as the years go on, how to improve us. And I especially like to thank Lieutenant Governor, who has been a champion for this fight since being in office. He and the governor have created OHAP during COVID, and they have made sure that my office was not only supported, but that we stayed close to the mayors and the coalition. This has created a closer continuum of care and greater communication between all of us so that we can address the gaps as they appear over the years. And given that times are changing right now because of different policy changes, the coalition stands ready to help Guam's most vulnerable populations. So before I wrap up with that, I'd like to just remind everyone that this Friday is the summit, our 4th annual Guam Housing and Homelessness Summit. That will be Friday at UOG Class Lecture Hall from 9 to 4. So if you have not registered, feel free to register or show up that day and join in on we'll have panels in the morning, and we'll have some breakout rooms during the day. So hopefully you can all make it if you haven't all registered. And anyone here who is not a member of the coalition, if you'd like to become a member, please contact me, Asia, Jesse, any of the officers here, and we will be sure and happy to add you on to our membership. So thank you very much. Guam Homeless Coalition at gmail.com. Is that correct? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. San Augustine. I now want to give the floor to our acting governor of Guam, the Honorable Josh Tenorio.
Thank you, thank you. Now you know who Mr. San Augustine is. Addressing homelessness is a very complicated topic, and there's not quite. I don't even think that we call it a fix, right? I don't think just understanding and knowing how we really have to have multiple ways to reach people to reduce homelessness, and we know that there are a large number of influences. We have, of course, escalating cost of living. We have, I think, one of the big ones is family disunity, where we see a whole bunch of alienation within families, sometimes caused by criminal acts. Unfortunately, we have high rates of sexual abuse on this island, as we do family violence. We also, of course, have, going through I think it's our 35th year of methamphetamine addiction, right, that has been plaguing our island. I think last week, I was talking to a group of young scientists, and I was saying that when I look at data, I recognize that the same group that has challenges academically is the same group that have poor health outcomes. It's the same group that are over-involved in the juvenile justice and the criminal justice system. The common element there is poverty. And homelessness assistance in many ways is our response, our community's response, and our methods to try and get people out of poverty while we navigate and empower them to get themselves whole. So some of the positive things I would like to say I see right now, I think the peer support programs that are running with our substance abuse treatment programs is a big win. So I know that there are a whole bunch of people that are in the room right now that are peers that are working and doing a lot of peer counseling for the population that is working through recovery. We have a large portion of our population that has a criminal justice record. And I know the Guam Department of Labor, you see the Deputy Director here, Mr. Tovis, and others are trying to find pathways so that people can get employment and people can get housing. Every time I go to a graduation at the Residential Substance Abuse Treatment Program, I always talk with some of the men that are graduating, and they've talked about how housing is a big challenge. So I'm pleased that we're working right now on a pilot program for a residential treatment setting, and we're working closely with GURA and Behavioral Health and Public Health to identify the proper methods and the proper partners to be able to get this going. For quite some time, we already started acquiring facilities. And I know that there's one area that we continue to look at. I mentioned earlier that we have a large number of children that are in the child welfare system. And we have been acquiring again some housing units that I think in the end, once they're complete, are going to provide housing stability for families that judges are confident family reunification can occur. Remember, many of the predominantly women that are in recovery that are seeking family reunification are also victims of domestic violence, right? And this is, in many ways, some of the reasons why having a network through the Homeless Coalition and through the providers that the government contracts with, we need to really be able to strategically come together and figure out how best to assign the resources. Like I said, I see ourselves and the government as acquiring and commissioning some work, but operating, I think, is a whole different ballgame, and preference is to push that out. I also recognize that a lot of the nonprofit partners are already at capacity, and there is a staffing situation going around the island. So I want to encourage and use this opportunity to encourage people in the community to maybe think outside the box. There are some retired social workers and educators that might have a little bit more time that maybe want to donate some time, to doing certain kinds of things. We have up and coming students, especially in the social work fields. Perfect time to go and maybe have their hand at seeing which target population they're most comfortable or most effective working with. So many opportunities. So I'd say, looking forward to the conference this week, and I think that we should focus on finding opportunities for improvement. I think we all know the complications we're dealing with out there, but I think when we work together as a group, we can figure out how to place our assets and our greatest resources to help address the problem. And the biggest resource we have is human resource across the board, from volunteers to government to nonprofit work. It's that energy and dedication that is going to get us out, or at least provide us with a very positive future going forward. And I would just close by saying we have our highest yield when we're able to focus on those families and those young people, and try and prevent them from experiencing the hardships that maybe their parents have found themselves falling into. So let's use today's proclamation as an opportunity to refresh ourselves and our resolve, and look forward to getting some wins this coming year. And I know that we will have some wins for our people. Sijus Maasi. And let's do a Biba Guam.
Biba. Cesar Masi, Acting Governor. And now for the reading of the proclamation, we're going to have Ms. Beverlyn Coleman read today's proclamation for homeless awareness.
I'm so sorry. I wasn't expecting to do this. Okay. Okay. Proclamation number 2025-117, a proclamation of the governor proclaiming November 2025 as Homeless Awareness Month. Whereas our island observes Homelessness Awareness Month to recognize the ongoing community issue of homelessness across our island and nation, and to recognize the countless private, public, and nonprofit organizations that work tirelessly to provide support and services to the unhoused and those facing housing instability. Whereas our island continues to address this complex issue, which is influenced by multiple contributing socioeconomic factors. There remain over 1,200 individuals who are in shelters, street homeless, and living in structures not suitable for human habitation. Whereas the Guam Homeless Coalition and community stakeholders aim to address homelessness and identify solutions and services to mitigate homelessness among our most vulnerable populations, such as our youth, families, and elderly adults. Whereas changing federal policies have endangered public benefits and have made broad cuts to programs meant to assist those in poverty, those experiencing homelessness, and those trying to overcome circumstances leading to homelessness. Whereas the mission of the Guam Homeless Coalition is to enhance life skills, increase access to resources to permanent housing, and provide training for employment to provide support and self-sufficiency to our neighbors without homes. Whereas the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration focused on this effort by transitioning the Office of Homelessness and Poverty Prevention under the Department of Public Health and Social Services, thereby creating a permanent division to function as a lead agency for the government of Guam homelessness response, and work closely with other agencies and organizations to provide access to transitional housing, transportation, access to health care, access to food, this is small, access to obtaining vital documentation such as identification cards to promote self-sufficiency. And whereas our island observes Homelessness Awareness Month to recognize the invaluable contributions and steadfast commitment of those who work to assist the unhoused and our neighbors experiencing housing instability. Through advocacy, education, effective case management, and efficient access to assistance, our most vulnerable population can achieve permanent housing, break the cycle of poverty, and improve their outlook on life for themselves and their families.
Now, therefore, I, Joshua F. Tenorio Octu Magetla Hingwahan, Acting Governor of Guam, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Organic Act of Guam as amended, do hereby proclaim Homelessness Awareness Month for November 2025. Given under my hand, I cause a great seal of Guam to be affixed in the capital village of Hagåtña on this 10th day of November in the year of our Lord, Anno Domini 2025. Biba Homelessness Awareness Month.
Biba. Thank you, Bev, for that reading, and our acting governor for the signing. I now want to invite everyone to the front for a group photo. Or, actually, cancel that. Jose, our photographer, will come up here. You stay where you are, because there's so many stakeholders in the room today. Just our front row can turn around. For those individuals standing or sitting in the back, can you stand? Please stand up in the back, and you want them to push forward. Rule of thumb is if you can't see the photographer, he cannot see you.